Alright, welcome back, guys. It is nice and cold today, as you can probably see my breath. I don't know if that's showing up on camera or not. But the new project, the exhaust on the YD100. A couple of people mentioned that the YD should be a little bit faster, that it wasn't exactly a fair comparison to the Phantom 85 on a previous video I made because of the exhaust. Which, for the record, that was meant to be stock comparisons, and the Phantom just came with a better stock exhaust than this YD that I got off of eBay for 130 bucks. So, but that being said, for scientific purposes, I am definitely curious to see how much closer the performance is with the exact same exhaust. So that's what I'm going to do today. I am going to cut and weld and graft the exhaust pipe from the Phantom 85 onto the YD100. So let's get into it. Oh, by the way, we have a special guest today. How are you, Walter? How's my little buddy? Okay, so here's our stock exhaust. It's pretty much what you'd see with a like 66 or 80 cc kit. So that muffler's definitely a performance restriction. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull those two bolts out there and take off this exhaust. Hey, buddy. Good, Mr. Walter. Anyway, so I got the exhaust off, and here I'm comparing it to the Phantom 85 exhaust. Now you can see the port size on the Phantom is absolutely massive in comparison to the YD exhaust. And the reason why I wanted to show you guys this is a lot of people have talked about port matching to this exhaust or just bigger exhaust on the YD, but as you can see, it is not even possible because the hole is bigger than the distance between the two studs, and there is no place to extend the studs out. You can see we are well into cooling fin territory at that point. Give you another shot from this angle so you can see just how much bigger this exhaust is. So, with this jug, technically it isn't possible to swap on this exhaust, at least not in a bolt-on situation, which I already knew because I've looked at this before. However, I'm going to do the next best thing that I can do just for entertainment value, and that is cut off the exhaust here and here and adapt that flange to this exhaust by welding it together. So, when we're done, it'll be some conglomeration between these two exhausts, but we will have a much larger exit and still a much better flowing exhaust, which I will also show you for a comparison. So it should still be a pretty considerable performance upgrade despite having a smaller port. So that's what we're going to do next. I am going to cut this off. Alright, I got my exhaust deburred and back on the engine for test fitment purposes here. So yeah, I'm resisting the temptation to fire it up with 1.5 inch long exhaust. Because that would be really loud. Anyway, I'm just going to line up this exhaust, which is also cut and deburred. Don't look too close, there's still a few burrs. It's all going to get melted with the weld anyway. So basically, just going to line this up in such a way that it clears both pedals and looks decent, something like that. And then I'm going to go ahead, get it where it looks good, tack it, and then gap weld the rest of it. So I'll meet you back after it's tacked. Alright, there we go. So now that we got a few good tacks on there, I'll go ahead and pull the ground there, and let's see if we have a full rotation on pedals. Okay, clear on that side. Oh, yeah, got a lot of room. Nice. Alright, we'll check from the top down. All right, it is actually pretty good clearance around the frame. I really like where that radius ended up. Yeah, I think we're good to go here. So I'm going to let that cool off a bit because it is still hotter than hell. So I'm going to let that cool off, and then I will unbolt this exhaust from the engine and finish welding this up in the vise on the bench, just so I don't put any more heat or splatter potentially in the engine. So yeah, that will be next. Alright, and while I have this off, I just wanted to show you guys no splatter got into that exhaust port at all. See if I can get a better angle for you. Yep, everything's looking minty fresh in there. And those lines you're seeing, that's just oil. There's no grit, no splatter, no nothing. Alright, let's see if I can get this in focus for you guys here. So yeah, the welding went pretty okay actually. It's getting washed out by that light, but yeah, it actually welded up just fine. It melted really easy. The phantom tubing, surprisingly enough, was quite a bit thinner than the tubing that was on the YD100. So it was actually quite a bit cheaper for that tubing. There we go. Now I got it darker. I did go over one spot twice. That was overkill, but it just looked like there may have been one little pinhole. But most of it, you know, puddled just fine. It really melted on the phantom side of things. See if I can get this side for you. Yeah, I was surprised how much thicker you could see that the that the YD exhaust tubing was. Anyway, this is pretty much cooled off now, so I'm just going to wire brush that, and then that one weld where I doubled up, I might just grind that down just a tad, just so I have room to get the Allen wrench in to tighten the bolt down. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and then we can move on to the next step. Alright, I got the exhaust bolted up, everything lined up just fine, our pedal's still clear, the bend in the pipe that goes around the frame is perfectly lined up. This actually fits better than it did on the original Phantom on this bike, so that's awesome. I could go out and rip it right now. However, this engine is in desperate need of a richer mix ratio for the temperatures we got right now, and opening up the exhaust is not going to help that situation. So I need to pull that carburetor off there and rejet it for a richer mix. Okay, I got the carburetor apart. The air filter had a decent amount of dirt in it, and so did this horn. I cleaned it up a bit, but you could still see it under the choke plate there. That, yeah, it's pretty gritty and gross, so that probably wasn't helping anything, but it doesn't appear to have gotten into, like, the bowl, really, or up by the jet. This is the jet. That's the part that you can either swap out or drill out. I am just going to drill it up one size, since I'm using the same fuel. I'm not changing to alcohol or anything. So I'm just going to go up one size, and hopefully that's not too much. And if it's too little, then I'll just drill it up one size again. So I'm going to go bust out the micro drill bits and take care of that quick. Alright, I got my little drill bit set there. So it turns out this was just a tad under 0.7 millimeters for that jet size. So going up to that would have been unnoticeably different. So I went up to 0.8 millimeters, which was a little bit of a jump. I'm just going to clean up the shavings out of there and get this carb all squeaky clean and back together, and hopefully that solves our lean issues. Alright, as you can see, carburetor is clean and back on. We have the new exhaust welded up and on. It's ready to ride. However, it's pitch black outside because it's the end of November. So I'm gonna have to wait till tomorrow or another day to go test this out. And I will cut to that right now. All right, so here we go. It is the next day, and it's actually pretty warm. 40 degrees out today. That's Fahrenheit scale. So I'm optimistic that this will be easier to start. Flip the petcock on here. Get our choke going. I still don't have a studded tire, but that's alright. For today's purposes, we just want to make sure it revs good and sounds good. Alright, here we go. Oh, I am fogging up bad already. Alright, we'll go downhill here, see if we can get it to start on this slush. Whoa, that was slippery. That was slippery. Oh boy. Try that again. Oh. There we go. Oh, wow. That's way better. Okay, it runs better. Quite a bit better. We can turn this down a little. All right. Just making some fine adjustments here. Got our idle clocked in. Oh, wow. Well, it definitely has more power. Whoa! Whoa! Okay. I need to remedy this fogging situation. Okay, that is a lot faster, but oh, Jesus. I need to open up this visor because I am going to crash. Oh, how close was I to that pickup truck? Yeah, that was pretty wild. I need to let my visor defog. I got too close to the parked cars, but it sounds pretty good. It is nice and loud. Check here to see if we got any leaks. I'm not seeing any like oil spraying out by my weld. This is actually looking good. It's running better. I think I'm going to do a little lap around the block here just to verify. Maybe do another one to get a top speed. But yeah, it's sounding good. It starts easier too. But it is slushy. Okay, yeah, that pipe definitely made a difference. It's got more power. Quite a bit more. Oh, slippery. Woo! I forgot to leave myself a viewing angle at the top. So I'm basically just running from the delay on the camera, but wow, that's loud. That was like 5,800 RPM. Man, that pipe really gave it a lot more torque. Okay, yeah, it is too slippery to really see what it's like at the top end, but the bottom end, where I can test it, it is really good. A lot of more torque. Yeah, it does seem to break up a little bit on the top there. So maybe a bit more carb tuning, but overall this was a win. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and cut it here. Okay, so yeah, that was a fun ride. You could see we have no exhaust leaks. There's no oil leaking out of those welds. That actually turned out pretty well. Yeah, I'm liking it. Alright, that's it for today, guys. It seems like I still have a little bit of carb tuning if I want to get more top end out of it. It seems to be breaking up a little bit past 5,500, whereas before I could squeak out 7,500, but that might just be a temperature thing because I wasn't able to get it warmed up as much because I'm still running a BMX tire. So there will be more carb tuning in the future, but overall I'm really pleased with how much more torque I got at the bottom end out of this pipe and the new carb tuning, and I think we're going to be in a good position for when it gets colder than 40 degrees again. So if you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and to subscribe, and stay tuned for more motorized bike content. I'll see you guys next time.